Hello, and welcome to the Frivolous and Frugal Knitting Podcast. We're a podcast usually of two sisters, but looky, today all three of us sisters are together. So we're a knitting podcast where we talk about our fondness for knitting, the things that we create, and the knitting community that we share that with. And we do it all with a little twist of both the frivolous and frugal. I'm Dawn. I'm number 4 in the birth order. And I am frivolous.
Which doesn't take long to show up. And I'm Penny. I am the oldest of the 8 siblings, and I am frugal.
I am Nicky. I am number 3 of the 8, and I am faithful.
You are faithful, and probably even more frugal than I am.
Probably.
I'd hit the cough button, but we don't have one. Okay.
Nor do we have an applause button, so you can't hit that either.
So Miss Ultra Frugal down there just happens to be using some cashmere yarn to make into scrappies for us. So
although she doesn't knit, she's winding our yarn for us for balls.
Yeah, so Penny can use them for her alliteration scarves. So.
Yeah. All right.
Why don't you explain what a no-notice hospitality check is? Because that's exactly what happened to me yesterday.
Absolutely. So we have this little event at our home called a no-notice hospitality check. You can drop in at my house at any time without notice and check to see just how hospitable I'm going to be. So I should be able to have some coffee, some donuts, or some cookies. And we converged on Dawn yesterday, and Nikki's best friend, Miss Donna, is with us too. So we did a no-notice hospitality check, and right now you are a strong B+.
I've always been a D.
That's where you're supposed to throw a flag.
Okay, time out for that example.
Wow. So because of this kind of no notice, we may not have all of our traditional props, like Pearl did not make the trip. So,
No.
But why don't you tell us what's around your neck?
Well, this week I have something borrowed, something blue, something old, and something new because I forgot to bring something for the podcast. So my borrowed item is Dawn's Shawl Sea Gleam, and it was one of Helen Stewart's patterns in Shawl Society 4.
I think so. Right.
And so that's something borrowed. Something blue, obviously, is my blouse. Something old, and that goes without saying. And then something new is this yarn. I have never experienced this yarn before. And so this is Hedgerow yarn, Silky Twist. So this is new for me. It's delightful. And she did a wonderful job on it. So what's around your neck?
I don't believe I've talked about this one. This is Perfect Blend by Casa Pinka.
Mm-hmm.
It was, a typical Casa Pinka knit along. So I think every week a clue or two came out. And this, I used a set of minis from Colorful Eclectic. Did I say that right? Eclectic.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And she was a vendor at Zombie Knitpocalypse a year ago. And so I forget how it went. She had so many in a mini, and then we just kept going, so I had enough. So it's a long triangle, as you can see. And each little color is a different pattern. So I like that. Pretty bright colors for me. And then look at this stitch with the big old holes. Now that's on purpose. That was not a typo.
Held it up during the podcast?
Yeah, really. Yeah, so great yarn, phenomenal indie dyer. And I'm assuming she's still dyeing, so Penny will include the hyperlink as part of the show notes, which just as a reminder, the show notes will be in the toolbar down below, or it's also in our group on Ravelry, and you can find that by, once you're in Ravelry, click on the groups tab. And I think now with the new outlet, it's called Community.
It is. Maybe? Community.
So whether you're looking old or new, just type in Frivolous and Frugal, and you should be able to find us.
And Nikki, what's around your neck?
It would be a mint green shirt from Chaps, started by a nice tan from the golf course. So
yes.
That's what's around my neck.
And you are sporting a tan, girl, like nobody's business.
Like we're not. Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of hard to knit out in 90-degree weather with 90% humidity on the golf course.
Amen.
Yeah. We tend to get distracted, don't we? All right. So what's on your needles, Dawn? Or should I say what's off your needles
What's off my needles?
Doesn't matter.
Looky, looky.
Oh,
I'm gonna need you guys
yep,
to
we are
spread
going
it
to do
apart.
that.
This is Herbivore by
Look
Stephen
at
West.
this.
So, and as you guys know, I torture the yarn when I block. So that is a very aggressive block. But I haven't measured it. It is a paid for pattern on Ravelry. I used a 6. I'm pretty sure I used a size 6. And I use Leading Men Fiber Arts in their, I think it's a cashmere yak blend. And I think it comes in 120 gram skein. And the only reason I say that is I thought I would have enough. Well, let me go back up. The pattern says this main spine should go 20 inches. When I got to 20 inches, I thought I had enough yarn left to do another 4-row repeat and then do the border. I did not. I lost miserably at Yarn Chicken. But the frugal side of me says, don't order just one skein in case you need a little extra. So I had an extra skein. I think I had to tap into that maybe about 8 to 10 grams. So again, this was an informal knit along we're doing with some of the ladies from Magpie, Cottage, and Sheboygan Falls.
And Nikki and I were just sitting here thinking, if this is 3 feet, I bet it's 6 feet.
Yeah, and I don't
And
think
it's right in the middle.
You're right. I must like them longer. I like them about 90 to 100 inches.
That is.
But this will go, I love these little spines. They'll go right over the shoulders. So this will be a nice, and that color, I know it doesn't always show true. It's a green. It's called All the Way to the Bank. And I've never worked with yak before, and it kind of has the feeling of a cashmere.
It does.
So.
And a tiny bit of a halo.
Yeah, just a tiny halo.
Very
lovely.
pretty.
I don't knit with green very often, so.
Yeah, I can't wait to see you
what's off
wear it.
Yeah, that'll be nice. What's off your needles?
Well, nothing as exciting as that. So just for the record, I'm still doing my 45 hats, 45 designers. And the first hat off the needles this week is Beloved. And I enjoyed this pattern. I introduced it last week. Fun crown decrease, very cute. The pattern is by Solenn. I'm going to say Couix-Loarer. I'm so sorry, darling. I know I mispronounced your name. Anyway, it's in Mint Rains Superwash worsted in the Red Wings colorway. It's another one of our Bucky Badger hats for the family. Finished it. It is ranking like a $3 sign on the frugalometer. Of course, when we buy our indie dyed yarns, we know that we're going to pay a little bit more for those. So anyway, that's what that is. It is number 19 of the 45.
Oh,
so that's kind of cool, isn't it? Yeah. So that's what's off my needles.
And the other thing I have off my needles was I finished the Descent cowl.
Ooh.
Carissa Browning, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong.
It is. Mm-hmm.
So the blue is a Carlton Sport Weight in the navy colorway. And the colored one is Sugar Bush, Itty Bitty, and the Pastel Pizzazz. So interesting, not sure how to wear this. The pattern shows a couple of different ways. I do believe it's a paid for pattern in Ravelry.
I believe you're right.
I think I would tuck in and then wear it like this.
But do you mind if I put it on?
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's show what it looks like when we put it on. Maybe it's, we
were trying this around last night to see. Oh, so it lays a little bit better on you, doesn't it?
Well, remember, you steamed it. I think the yarn was a bit stiff last night, and Dawn looked very Elizabethan.
I'm not sure what that means.
It was, yeah. But I think it does look looser today. So I think you were right. All you need to do is just loosen it up.
And I really thought I was going to run out of that colorway of the colorful pizzazz, and it's here somewhere. I had 1.2 grams left, which I'm glad it was in my bag and I didn't see it getting that close, because I would have been.
You did very well.
I would have been knitting faster, like that would have solved anything. But I would have been anxious and wanted to do that.
Yeah, so 1.2 grams will only make about 2 rows on my scarf.
Oh.
And I'm with the 88 inches.
I don't know if I could have made one more round if it would have been a bind off or an increase round. We'd have to see. So,
I bet you're probably
but
right.
that's not
You're
even
dead
enough
close.
to give to you for extras.
You're not throwing that away.
Okay.
Right?
Absolutely.
No.
No.
And by the way, you see Miss Nicky over here. She is doing such a nice job. She's meticulous. So I appreciate that, sis.
Here.
I have one other thing off my needles, Dawn. I did not get a lot of finished projects done this week, for the
No,
record. I
you're
only got
busy.
2. This is number 20 on my 45 hats by 45 designers. And I'm using a female head because both of these hats are for younger children. This is called
Oh, I like
the
that one.
Luak. And it is by Annis Jones. I knitted in Plymouth Encore color spun in the Driftway colorway. What I like about this hat is look at that bobble on the top.
That just knit in like that, huh?
It did. It's a huge bobble. And you can do a large bobble or a small bobble. I did the large. I think it's perfect. And this is going to go to a little fella, I think. So anyway, knit up very nice. Definitely a $1 sign on the frugalometer.
And what yarn did you say the yarn?
Yep, Plymouth Encore
Okay.
color spun. And so it kind of is a bit self-patterning.
It is a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, but a nice little colorway for the little guy I'm knitting for. All right. What about you? Anything else off your needles?
That is it for off my needles. So
It is.
here's what I'm working on. I started a class this week at Silver Thimble, a quilt and yarn store in Green Bay. I'm just going to read the title. It is called the Advent Calendar Stole 2016. And the designer is Brigitte Koch. I guess she does a Christmas knit along every year, an Advent knit along that starts December 1st, and she releases a clue every other day.
Yes.
But Miss Tina is teaching this class, and we are just doing 2 clues a week. So I am using Marisol Salka Legato in the geranium colorway. Is that not like the perfect pink?
It is.
And I don't know if we need to go in a little closer. It has some lace sections and some, there'll be some patterns coming up. But you can see that, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but there's a series of beads right up here toward the top. There they are. So clue 1 is below that, and I'm just about halfway through clue 2. And so,
Very pretty.
yeah, it's a very well written pattern. You can tell she's used to doing these knit alongs, and Tina's done them every single year. So not that I'm predicting anything this year, but it would be fun to do a knit along. I just don't think in December I could do every other day.
That was cool.
Especially if I have any Christmas knitting left to do. That would be tough to do, as well as my job. So
Quit your job.
okay. So if you're watching, I'll leave my keys on the desk.
That's right. She was going to do it with a letter, but this is going to have to suffice for right now.
I think this will be 70 inches long, which again is a little short for me. It's a long vertical stole, but I think we have some upcoming projects in mind that are very long. So I'm just going to think that this is going to be okay, a little bit shorter, because I have not taken the time to figure out which sections to extend if I want it longer. And the sections are irregular, so it's not like every section is 4 inches.
Okay.
Some are longer, some are shorter. So I didn't want to take the time to mathematically figure that out. So I would have had to pay attention in math, and I did not do that. So yeah, so this is an Advent stole, which I love.
So let me ask you a real quick question, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Do you have enough yarn to extend it?
I could buy more. There's more at the shop.
There is. Oh, yeah. Then you could play if you have a special section you like.
I know, but there's so much other stuff
I
I want to
know.
do. That's the problem.
I know. What do you say? Stop the madness?
Stop the madness. All right.
All right.
No, I know I could stop the madness, but I want somebody else to stop it. The story of my life, right? All right. What are you working on?
Well, I am working on hat number 21 from our collection of 45 hats, 45 designers. The name of the pattern is Slip and Dot Hat. So if you take a look at it, you can see the colors. It is by Alice Humbrecht, and it is done out of Plymouth Encore color spun. In the color, it is white, And the color spun with the variegated yarns, I only have a number because this is how I bought it. So if I see yarn with a label like this, then I'm pretty sure it's going to be on sale.
Handwritten.
It is. Oops.
There you go.
There. It's only color 7137. I don't know, but it was like in the bin. So I picked it up out of the bin. And it is a simple, straightforward pattern. It's going to be quick and easy. However, it is a brim I've never done before. Slip stitches in a ribbed brim.
I've not done that either, I don't think. And nice, I like the colors, obviously. It's with the white.
So it's going to be for little girls. I'm knitting it on size 8s because I'm a tight knitter.
Yes, and it'll be interesting to see if you pom-pom it, which yarn you pick.
The pom-pom discussion, I have to say, thank you everyone for putting in your suggestions and advice, especially those who attended our virtual knit night. We talked about pom-poms and the challenge I was having by keeping a very tight knot on that. So that's a good question. I may try some of the suggestions, and if I do, you'll be the first, well, maybe the second to see it. Okay.
I look forward to that.
Anything else on your notes?
I literally have 2 just barely started. I started the Iris hat, and the Iris hat is a paid-for pattern on Ravelry, and it is by Sari Nordlund. And I got the yarn in a kit from Stephen B's in Minneapolis. Now, how does that rock? So this is Hedgehog Fiber Sock. I think it's a fun name. I think it's cheeky. No comments. Can you hear the peanut gallery to my right? Okay. And then look at this. This is Hedgehog Fiber Kids Silk Lace in the pinky swear. Or I've got those 2 wrong. But it was a kit. And I think the pattern came with the kit, but it is available. I started it, but look.
Ooh,
so this is called Yarn Barf. So I started, it's a new construction for me because it's a top-down hat. I'll show you the picture here. But I wasn't getting these nice decrease lines. And I think that's a major component of a hat, is the decrease line. So obviously I am not increasing at the right spot every time to get the line. So I just ripped it out and I'll try it again. It's a circular cast on, which was new for me. And I used the Knit Pearl Hunter video to remind me how to do that, or not to remind me, to teach me. So it is really just a very simple ribbed hat, but the beauty of course will be the mohair. So yeah, I'll recast that on when it's, maybe I just need to use more stitch markers or something to help so I can catch the increases at the right place. Yeah, anything else on your needles?
I do have one other item, and it's still a work in progress. Last week I shared my little hand turn, part of my 6 sweet sweaters. I'm knitting 6 different baby sweaters. I struggled a little bit, and I'll show you this. You might as well see my mistakes. I struggled with seaming the shoulders. I don't like, I don't know how to say it. I don't like seaming seams if it's not going to look nice. Does that sound right? So what I did was a technique I saw years ago where you take a bound off edge and you pick up the stitches and you leave your other live stitches and you do a Kitchener.
Oh, wow.
So that's what I did. So this is, it looks okay on the outside. You can see that. On the inside, let me show you what it looks like. It's a little messy on the inside. You can see this line of stitches.
Well, that may give it some sturdy, if that's a word.
Yeah, I think it should be sturdier. So I did that. I did it about 4 times before I liked it, which, one may have done that inside out.
Oh.
When you why does it have to happen publicly?
Yes, I know.
It's bad enough that I get embarrassed on my own, but now it's publicly and in front of my younger sisters. Well, will it work?
Nope.
Oh, shoot. All right. Well, never mind. I know what I'm going to be talking about next week on what I learned.
Put a whole little row of pump.
I can't do that.
Yeah, you wouldn't be happy with that.
No, but actually this really isn't the wrong side. I just had where I joined my yarn, or the yarn was kind of wonky right here. So I just made that my wrong side, I think. Oh gosh, I don't know. You'll have to come back next week.
Next thing you know, we'll have a wonkiness meter.
We will. Oh, I would peg it out. So today, during our time together for the No Notice Hospitality Check, I'm going to pick up my stitches and start my sleeves. I'm just going to leave this the way it is.
You go, girl.
Okay. What do you think?
You know,
Go for it.
It's okay?
Yeah.
No, because if you don't like it now,
You're not going to like it in 20 rows.
right?
Okay.
Look at that knitting knowledge that's coming from afar.
Well, she has knitting knowledge, but I just want to test your golf knowledge.
Okay.
Publicly.
Here we go.
All right.
I know nothing about golf other than 4.
And why do they even say that?
I don't know. Just to warn people the ball is coming towards them, I guess. But I don't know why 4.
And not 3 and not,
I know.
okay.
Heads up.
Don would be going, I know I'm supposed to yell something, but I don't know which number.
Duck.
Duck. And then, of course, one of us would go duck, and somebody else would go goose, and then it would be all total confusion.
See?
Okay.
Whoa.
All right. So I'm sure you have a burning question for our sister Nikki about
Okay,
golf.
so I always hear people talk about handicaps in golf, and I don't know if a handicap's good, a handicap's bad. I don't know.
Well, a 0 handicap means you are shooting par. That's what is expected of good golfers. If you have a under handicap, that means you're like in the professionals where people are paying you to golf. And then there's golfers like me that are over par most times. And so if a par is 35 for 9 holes, and let's say I shoot a 40, my handicap would be 5 for that 9 holes. And then usually they base a handicap off of 18 holes. So you might double it, not quite fully for a 18-hole handicap, but I would say personally, I'm probably a 10 handicap by myself, and with Miss Donna and myself as a team, we are usually scratch golfers. So we would have like a 0 or a 1 handicap.
All right. So is that like extra credit points?
If you're below, if you have like a negative, that would be extra credit.
It would be.
Yeah. So
you don't get extra credit.
No, not even for showing up and looking good. So.
It's
And
smelling
you
nice.
do that, and she always does smell
Yeah,
nice.
she does.
Well, very
Thank
good. So thanks for explaining that, sis,
No
because we're
problem.
trying to learn about golf too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've
So,
been to a couple of clubhouses.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
With us, so
Yep. And they even let us knit in there,
they did.
which was very nice.
Probably with great embarrassment for everybody, but we were just having the time of our lives.
We
so.
were. We just felt like golfers for
That's
a few
right.
minutes while we were sitting there knitting. Okay. Well, let me ask you, do you have anything else on your
Last thing, again, I just started. It is the Ikigai. Now we had to look that up, which was quite the issue. Ikigai cowl. It was a free pattern that you got for buying Malabrigo. This is Malabrigo Caprino, which is their cashmere base. Now it's new to me. I don't know if it's new to Malabrigo, but it was new to me. And the colorway is Paris Nights. So it's 80% fine merino, 20% cashmere, and it's a DK weight. And so Miss Lori at the shop at Magpies did this, and it was spectacular. So yet another cowl. So we really are in a cowl kick. But I think it's a nice project, an intermediate project to have, or if you just need to pick something up that has a repeat pattern in it. So.
We looked up this name just so you know, and it means having a purpose in life. And so we thought that was really cool. And we even used a pronunciation tool so that you knew how to pronounce it, didn't
Okay,
we?
it's Geeky Guy without the G.
There you go.
Ikigai.
And it works.
I don't know what that means either.
I don't either.
I
Yeah.
probably just did something
You probably, and my
inappropriate.
son will let you know if he did. He will email his auntie and say, Auntie Dawn, do you know what you just did? All right. So what are you learning this week?
Well, I called it the knitting trifecta. So it was just one of the weeks where I got to work with some incredible yarn. So I'm working with some cashmere, some bright colors. So I think that's one, is when you have nice yarn to work with. And again, just buy whatever yarn that makes you happy, whether it's the color, the texture, anything. But I also have some fun new projects and thinking about some future projects. So that's the other portion of the trifecta. And then the third is I just had a week where I got to knit with some incredible people again. So, the Magpie Cottage ladies, we meet virtually. That has really become a highlight of my week. The class started at Silver Thimble in Green Bay, so I got to knit with all of those ladies that I got to meet through the COVID experience through Zoom a little bit better, or got to know them a little bit better. And then look, this is the perfect trifecta. Is the no whatever hospitality.
No notice hospitality.
Oh, for the cry eye. Yeah, so it was just kind of a good week. I didn't get a lot accomplished, but you know how just sometimes it all falls into place. And so we'll gladly rework our schedules to make this happen. And
absolutely.
Yeah, it was just one of those things.
And may I add, we also got to knit with some of our viewers last Saturday night. Oh my goodness. They came to the Frivolous and Frugal virtual knit night. Did you not love that?
That is absolutely, that phrase, you leave there with a full heart.
Yes.
That's exactly what it was. We laughed. We talked a lot of knitting. Miss Deb Trainer told us how she got into designing. It was amazing, amazing, amazing.
It was amazing. So if you have never knit virtually with a group, please join us. I would say we're just pretty informal and relaxed. Nicky always is there. And she is a wonderful statistician for us and wealth of knowledge. So if anyone has a question, we all just defer to her and she answers it for us. But please, the second Saturday in August, which will be August 8th, from 7 to 9 Central. We would love to have you come and introduce yourself and join us. It's just a nice, delightful time.
And there was a little enabling going on. I had to go buy patterns right away. I had to buy some yarn. I had to look up some new podcasts. So Penny in the show notes will add some honorable mentions, things that people talked about in that podcast or during that Zoom session that they recommended. So you'll see a combination of yarn, patterns, and podcasts.
And I also put those in the thread for the July virtual knit night. Yeah. So that I couldn't hyperlink it because it's a comment. It would need to be a post, but so I could hyperlink all those websites. So I will be able to do that in this week's show notes much better.
Oh, good. Okay. That'll work out well. Yeah, so that was amazing time too. So our cup runneth over.
It does. And I think that's what I learned this week. I need to be surrounded, or I like to be surrounded by more experienced knitters, because something that I'll talk about on an upcoming episode is I modified the stitch count on a sweater pattern. And now I have to think my way through that. And it's the community that's helping me do that.
Right.
So yeah, I'm learning that I need the community. That's the bottom line. Yep. Did you learn anything this week, Nicky?
How to roll a ball of yarn.
Yes. And could we please just show the audience your look at this. It is meticulous. Look at that. And last night, I just got to show you. This is what she did while we were chatting.
Look at, she has the same project bag Penny does.
Frugal and Frugaler.
Frugaler.
Frugal and Frugaler.
Tight and tighter, whatever. Okay. Yeah.
And if there's a difference, we're not cheap. We're just frugal, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm glad we've got that cleared up.
All right.
Okay.
I'll drink to that.
Well, if you will, I will.
You must.
All right. One thing we need to talk about, our FinishFixorFrogItKAL. How's it going?
Good. The comments are amazing. The finished objects are amazing. Even somebody frogged a whole shawl.
I know. Oh, my
whole shawl. Maybe that. So anyway, last night, Nicky told us the numbers that we needed to use for the draw. And why don't you announce who the winner is?
Yay! It's Miss Ann. Your Ravelry name is Zeistus. And you are one of our virtual knitting buddies. And literally, it was a random draw. So are you ready, darling? This is just going to make your day. I don't care what time of the day you listen to this podcast. This is what you are going to receive. A Republic of Wool skein in the Supernova colorway with the twist fingering base. It's an 80-20 merino nylon. I'm sure there will be a couple of accoutrements in there or accessories. non-essentials, but I can tell you it's going to be in a quality Ziploc bag. So just give us a shout, contact Dawn, or contact us via our email. Give us your mailing address and we'll get it to you. So thank you for your entry into the Finish, Fix, or FrogItKAL.
So we will draw for that again in 2 weeks. So keep posting pictures. Again, finished items, items you decide to go back and fix, or just items you decided you wanted to frog. And we're just going to keep that open as long as it's getting good conversation.
Mm-hmm.
We really have no timeline on that. But also our next giveaway, and we'll see when that happens, probably over the next month somewhere, is when we hit 750 subscribers. So we're laughing that, in the beginning, if we had 3 new subscribers, we'd do a giveaway.
Yeah,
I'm so excited. But yeah, our numbers are just slowly climbing, and we really don't care if they climb or not. I mean, we just do this because we love it. But it does tickle us pink to think that there are people who are from all over that are watching the podcast and learning with us, laughing with us.
Absolutely.
So
from our statistician, is there any other bits of information you'd like our viewers to include?
Oh, continue to thumbs up. And if you do a thumbs down, let us know what is not making your viewing a positive thing, and we'd like to change that if at all possible.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, that's great.
And keep hitting that subscribe button.
Ooh, you bet.
Wow. And you can find us on all the social medias, Instagram and Facebook, as the Frivolous and Frugal podcast. And then last but not least, one of our faithful viewers, Miss Laurel, is an indie dyer, and her company is called Blue Doxy Dye Works. She contacted me this week and asked if we wanted, or she asked if she could give a coupon code to buy some of her yarn. So we'll put that in the notes, what the coupon code is, but it's for 15% off. It's for all of her yarns, with the exception of a collection she calls Garden Party. So if you have any questions about that, I think she said she'd run it through the month, the rest of July. So till July 30th. So she's got a color called Beach Glass. Oh gosh, I better get some of that. So very gracious. So out of the blue, she contacted us and asked about that. So thank you, Laura.
Yes, thank you, darling. We do appreciate that. All right. I cannot think of anything else we need to chat about, ladies. Can you think of anything?
No, but for the closing, pick your words wisely. I don't know if you caught that in the last episode.
I had a mispronunciation and I was mortified. Just so you all know, mortified that came across my lips. However, I have lived and I've worked through the trauma, and I'm better now. We would love to keep chatting with you, but quite honestly, we have so much visiting to do that we're going to skedaddle. So we're hoping your week will be a sweet twist of the frivolous, the frugal, and the faithful. Thanks so much. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.